Imam Ahmad and in the Sunan of Abi Dawood and Nasa'i, Muad ibn Jabal, may Allah be pleased with him, once said, the Prophet ﷺ took my hand once and said, "O Muad, Wallah, I love you. Wallah, I love you." And Muad said, "By Allah, I love you back, O Prophet of Allah." Then the Prophet said to me, "O Muad, do not leave these phrases, these words at the end of every salat. Allahumma a'inni ala dhikrika wa shukrika wa husni ibadatik. O Allah, help me to remember you, to thank you, and to worship you perfectly." This beautiful hadith has many, many benefits, but the time is not sufficient. However, the Prophet ﷺ practically practiced what he instructed us. He told us, whenever you love someone, notify him. And once he was sitting with a companion of his, when this companion said, "O Prophet of Allah, do you see that man over there? By Allah, I love him." So the Prophet said to him, "Have you notified him?" And the man said, "No." So the Prophet said, ﷺ, "Go and notify him." So the man went to him and said to him, "I love you for the sake of Allah." And the man said, "May Allah Azza wa Jal love you back." Of course, we Muslims understand the meaning of to say "I love you." It's not like the Westerners or the people with the corrupt minds think. It has nothing to do with homosexuality or something that is weird. The Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, the highest levels and knots of Iman is to have allegiance in Allah and enmity in Allah, and to love for the sake of Allah and to hate for the sake of Allah. So when we love someone for the sake of Allah, we love him because he's close to Allah, he offers his rituals according to what Allah commanded, he stays away from sins. We love him for the things that he does that draws him closer to Allah. And when we hate an individual, we don't hate him because of his skin color or his ethnicity or his social status or his richness or poorness. We hate him because of the sins that he's committing that draws him further away from Allah Azza wa Jal. Now the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to love the companions. Some, he loved them more than others. Once he saw a gathering from the companions, from the Ansar, from the inhabitants of Medina, who hosted and accepted the migrants from Mecca. He saw them coming from a wedding. So he stood up and said, "By Allah, you are the most beloved people to my heart." He also answered the question, showing that he loves the companions more than others. They're not in the same level. Amr ibn al-As, may Allah be pleased with him, asked him once, "Who among the people is the most beloved to you?" The Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, "Aisha." Amr was hoping that the Prophet would say, "You." Because Amr was a fierce enemy of Islam and the Muslims. And on the 8th year of Hijrah, almost 21 years after the Prophet became a messenger, alayhi salatu wasalam, he accepted Islam. So imagine of 21 years of hostility against Islam, he accepted Islam after 21 years. And because the Prophet was a person, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who was kind-hearted and would not hold a grudge, whenever he saw Amr, he smiled in his face, giving the impression to Amr that I might be one of the favored ones to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he asked him, who among the people do you love most? The Prophet said, Aisha, his wife. Amr said, I meant from the men. So the Prophet said, Abu Bakr. Amr said, who next? The Prophet said, Umar. Okay, who next? Hoping to hear his name. And the Prophet kept naming people and not Amr ibn al-As among them. He also said that his grandsons, Al-Hasan wal-Husayn, are among the most beloved to his heart. O Allah, love them and love those who love them. Now, if we look at the individual, Muad ibn Jabal, I would presume that the vast majority of Muslims don't know this man. Maybe they haven't heard his name before. And if they had, they may not know who he is. And this is shameful. When you're asked about the BAFTA awards, or the Oscars, or the box office, or the top 10 in the charts, or the best football players, or athletes, you can list and write novels on them, knowing each and every one, the biography, where they lived, how they lived, who they married, how many times they got married, and how they died. But when we come to the inhabitants of Jannah, when we come to the companions of our Prophet ﷺ, the best of generations ever to walk the earth, we are oblivious. We are in total ignorance. We are blacked out. We have nothing. Muad ibn Jabal accepted Islam when he was 16. He was a kiddo. Was not engaged in video games or trivial things like our kids. He came to Mecca when the Prophet did not migrate yet and was involved in Bay'atul Aqabat al-Thaniyah. And after the Prophet migrated to Medina, may Allah be pleased with him, Muad ibn Jabal did not skip a battle next to the Prophet ﷺ. He witnessed all battles at this young age. He wasn't just a brave man. He was among the highly decorated scholars of Islam, to the extent that the Prophet ﷺ said, Mu'adh will come ahead of the scholars on the Day of Judgment by miles. He will come ahead of them. Imagine if you were in a community where the Prophet was, alayhi salatu wasalam. Would you ever dare to ask anyone for fatwa? Never. Yet Mu'adh was one of the few whom used to give fatwa in the presence of the Prophet ﷺ and in his time. To the extent that the Prophet ﷺ said, take the Quran from four. There are four companions, individuals, that are highly learned in the Quran, and you will take it from their tongues perfectly. Take it from Ibn Abd, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, from Ubay ibn Ka'b, from Muad ibn Jabal, and from Salim, Mawla Abi Hudhayfa. May Allah be pleased with them all. However, Muad died when he was 34 years of age, leaving behind this wonderful legacy that each one of us should ask himself. What have I left behind me? What will I leave behind me when I die? Is it something that I can be proud of? Is it something that I would like to see in my grave? Muad ibn Jabal witnessed all battles with the Prophet ﷺ, hoping to die as a martyr. And he died as a martyr, but not on the battlefield. He died with the plague of Umwas, and he would be rewarded as a martyr with the grace of Allah Azza wa Jal. This is just a reminder of one of the great companions. There are so many incidents that we, if we were to talk about, would remember immediately that, oh, yeah, I know this hadith.